I'm here with Jack. Just seen Arsenal go down 2-0 to Newcastle, first home defeat of the season. Disappointing performance. I was actually at the game. There's a lot of frustration in the ground. You was in the studio. Give us your thoughts on the game.
I'm gutted. I'm so disappointed with the way that it went. And I think first thing I want to say is there's going to be a lot of fans out there. Not all Arsenal fans, but there'll be a lot that are going to sort of make excuses, I think. There'll be people that will say, there's like 6 or 7 players out. We've got injuries. But I think let's look at it realistically. The only player that starts for Arsenal tonight that's injured is Saka. They had Bruno Guimaraes out and Fabian Schär. So I don't think we can use injuries as an excuse. And we can't use referees as an excuse. So there wasn't any.
Some people are saying there was an illness bug. I'm not sure. Well, you know about it. Mm-hmm. That apparently affected the club. Number of players were sick. Obviously, some players who played today were just recovering from that, namely Odegaard, Havertz, one or two others. Do you think that might have played a part tonight?
To an extent, obviously, like look, Havertz wasn't 100%, Odegaard's probably not 100%, but I'm kind of tired of the excuses. Like I say, Saka's the only person that would have started that wasn't there. If Odegaard's fit enough to play, he's fit enough to play. Same goes for Havertz. Like I said, they had no Schär, they had no Bruno Guimaraes, and there was no refereeing mistakes. There's nothing to blame. I don't think there's anything us Arsenal fans now can come out after that game and blame. There's no one to look at or point fingers. It's the players on the pitch, the manager and the board. I think it's a result, it's a 2-0 loss that we have to just take accountability for, and there's no one we can look at other than ourselves.
Well said. You know what? It's nice to hear a Arsenal fan not referencing referees. And indeed, tonight there was no refereeing decision that was impacted the game. One thing I did want to ask you, though, and it was a big talking point before the game, Alexander Isak, a lot of eyes on him tonight. Obviously, we know that Arsenal have looked at him in the past and people are speculating on whether he'll come to the club. What did you make of his performance tonight? And I've got to ask you, because I know you're a big Havertz fan, the inevitable comparisons will be made between him and Kai Havertz. What's your thoughts on it?
Oh, he was the difference. I think that shows for everyone that sits at home and says, we need a striker, this is why. I think Arsenal finished the game with an XG of, I think it was 3.7. And they had like a 1.4 and they beat us 2-0. And it's because Isak was clinical when he got his chance. I mean, I love Havertz, but look at that header. It's not even a header, it hits his shoulder. That should be a guaranteed goal, the Martinelli chance. Isak puts both of them away, and that is inevitably why they scored 2 and we scored none, because they have that striker. And look, Havertz, 65 million. I'm a big fan of him, but you can't afford to die on that sword. Arteta can't fall on his sword with Havertz as the guy that he has to make work. We need a proven striker. If I'm entirely honest, I don't know why Isak would want to join us after watching that. I mean, he was that good that he spent the last half an hour watching it from bench. That's how good he was. But
if anything, his price has gone up after tonight because the way he played today and our lack of attacking penetration, if you're in that Newcastle board and you do end up selling Isak to us, you're going to probably put 10 million on it tonight. I thought Anthony Gordon was good as well for them today, though.
Yeah, and again, this is annoyingly, that's the frustrating difference. We look at Arsenal need a left wing and a striker, and we got put to the sword by a quality left winger and a quality striker. And I don't actually think Martinelli was that bad, bar the chance that he missed, but Gordon, he's just a live wire, just makes something out of nothing. And again, it's just something we don't necessarily have right now.
Yeah, he was causing a bit of havoc today, I've got to say that. Okay, so we've discussed Havertz, but as I was saying previously to Turkish, I was at the game and it wasn't just him. There's a number of players that underperformed tonight. There was also a suggestion amongst some of the fans I spoke to at the ground that Newcastle appeared more up for it than Arsenal. Now, if that is the case, then that is very disappointing. But what do you think about it?
I think we look tired. I mean, I said I don't want to use injuries as an excuse, but with the whole, loads of players have been out, players played a lot of minutes, there's been illness. I get why they look a little bit lethargic and a bit tired, but I always say when I watch Arsenal, if we go a goal down, we just seem to peter out of games. Do you know what I mean? I never look at an Arsenal performance where we go 1-0 down and it's like, right, they're going to be backs to the wall, we're going to pepper their goal, we're going to have shot after shot after shot. Like you watch Liverpool City, they go a goal down. The opposition are clinging on for the rest of the game. And sometimes they don't score, but they've tried. But we just seem to just peter out of games. It was another one of them today. The minute it went 2-0, I was like, yeah, we're not going to score. Like players' heads are dropped. We're just going to see it out. And the most disappointing thing is it's 2 legs. If it's a one-legged game and you're 2-0 down, I can get why it might peter out. But just get one. Take something to St James's Park. But we just look to switch off.
We did have a number of efforts on goal, though. I think it's like 20 plus, but only 3 shots on target. I mean, that seems a bit incongruous, right?
Yeah, and it's the same thing of resorting to crossing over and over again. I'd love to see the stats of how many crosses we put in. Obviously, one falls to Havertz's head, hits his shoulder, goes out. But why are we using Martinelli like he's Peter Crouch? Like, why are we standing it up to the back post for our like 5'10" left winger to score a header every time? Like, we have to be a bit more inventive, and we're just not. And again, you look at their second goal. Isak takes the ball to feet, shifts it, shoots. No one in our team does that. It gets recycled for a cross. It gets held up, back to Rice, back to Odegaard, out wide for a cross. Like, no one's making something out of nothing in this team. And that's, I think, again, the difference.
No, it's a good point, because in that second half, you could clearly see that the Newcastle tactics was they didn't mind us having the ball. They defended quite deep, and they've got some very good defenders. Mm-hmm. But I just want to close. Listen, 2-0, it's not looking good. Do you think we've got what it takes to turn it around on February the 5th?
No. I really don't. Look, I would love to be the Arsenal fan that comes on here and says, you know, we're going St James's, we can do this. It's one of the toughest places to go in the league on a good day, and we're 2-0 down. I'm not saying they'll shut up shop, but it'll be a defence first. They'll see it out. I don't see a way back, and I mean, bearing in mind we have Man City that week as well, I'm not far off saying just send the B team and then just get up for that league game and hope we're still in the FA Cup.
And of course, we've got another big cup game coming up this weekend. Any changes to the team? I thought he went quite strong tonight, but is there anyone that didn't play tonight you'd like to see come in?
I mean, no one's played themselves into the team, but there's a few that have probably played themselves out. I think I'd probably take out Trossard and start Jesus out wide. But again, that's maybe a bit harsh because all the attackers were poor. But I mean, that's probably the only change I would make. And other than that, to see what we can do. I think Lewis Skelly was the only person that can walk off that pitch with his head held high. He took accountability. Like, there was points in the game where we were sat there and everyone was pointing at each other. Like, give him the ball, let him do something. He was the only one that was asking for the ball, driving with the ball. Like, and it shouldn't be a Hale End product on like his 10th appearance that's trying to grab the game by the scruff of the neck from left back.
Okay, Jack, thanks very much. Very honest and forthright as always. Thank you.